My name is Medina. I am 20 years old. I plan to major in public policy. I am the current president for the COS Young Democrats, and this is my last semester here.
So I'm Christian Chacon. I'm currently president of the COS College Republicans. I'm planning on going into pre-law, and I am also 20 years old.
So I joined my club in the fall of 2015. A friend had encouraged me to join that club as well as Pride Club. The Young Democrats back then were actually pretty small, around 4 to 5 members, but I saw that all of those members were extremely committed to making a difference and providing a lot of opportunities for the students here. I knew that if I wanted to be a much better organization, that I would have to become much more involved and help my friends get involved in the political process here as well.
So in the fall of 2015 also, one of my first years here, I took Professor Toodle's class, which is history. And after taking that class, I was exposed to new ideas that previously none of my classes or teachers I've had before had never really presented those arguments in such like a coherent, logical way. And so it really intrigued me to go seek out those new ideas. And in doing so, I got the club, I met all the people, and then I just met incredible mentors that really pushed me towards getting more involved and definitely spreading the conservative message on campus.
So the purpose for my club is to help educate students on, more so on politics. Sometimes I meet some people who lean more towards the conservative side, so I have no problem kind of shoveling them over to Christian's team, if you will. But what I try to do the most is, my number one objective for the club is to register students to vote and get them informed on politics and policies. And what I also try to do is to get them to meet high-collar politicians that are either in state senate, state assembly, or even United States Senate, as well as candidates for governor. I try to create like a pretty welcoming environment for everyone, regardless of affiliation. I know we do lean towards the left, but I do my best to try to welcome everyone on campus, or at least help them out if they're interested on the other side.
Awesome. So what my club does is we focus on getting a lot of local and statewide politicians elected. The California College Republican organization, their main goal is to get Republicans elected. But aside from that, the balance at the local level is that we also focus on activism, which is getting people involved, opening people up to new ideas and bringing speakers in, and also showing people what it is exactly we're advocating for. For instance, we have our shooting events, we get to meet people, and we also help people get jobs. And the cool thing about the College Republican Club is that we have a 100% UC acceptance rate. So everyone who's ever been a part of it, applied to UC, has always 100% gotten into their schools.
So every single year, the California Democrats have a big state convention where thousands and thousands and thousands of state Democrats come over to kind of strategize for the year and how we're going to take back seats from the Republicans. And we have a lot of keynote speakers. The year before I joined, Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts came to address the California Democrats. Last year, Vice President Joe Biden came to address the Democrats. I got to shake his hand, and I was pretty excited there. I've been able to meet State Senator pro tempore Kevin De Leon. I've been able to meet congressmen up and down California. I've gotten to meet the state party chair, Eric Bauman, candidates for governor like John Chang, Gavin Newsom, State Secretary of Education, Delane Easton, State Treasurer John Chang, like I said before, as well as congressmen such as from Orange County, Loretta Sanchez, as well as Senators Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein, and Kamala Harris.
So at the local level, we have the luxury of being in the Central Valley, which is that a lot of our candidates get elected here. So we have the unique opportunity to meet a lot of the people who are currently in office, whether it be our city councilmen, our city mayors, city managers, county managers, or even, for instance, our local congressmen or assemblymen. So we're really lucky to have our Congressman Devin Nunes here, who holds a lot of influence in the White House and abroad. And as chairman of the Intelligence Committee, he definitely has a unique insight into the government process. And also we get to meet like on the national level. Some of us, if they chose to, they got to see now President-elect Trump when he went to Tulare County to do a fundraiser. But also you get other opportunities. For instance, we have our own now old, she just recently got voted out for State Senate Minority Leader Gene Fuller, and also we got to meet Minority Leader Chad Mays in the State Assembly. So we're pretty fortunate to have a lot of elected officials here in the local area.
So if you join my club, There's definitely a lot to look forward to since California is pretty much owned by the Democrats because we do have a supermajority in the state Senate as well as the Assembly. We can help build your name up there if you do plan to run for maybe statewide elections. Our club has registered over 75 Democrats last semester. We've raised over thousands of dollars to make sure that we can bring tons of people to the upcoming state election. We were directly involved in making sure that Tulare, the city of Tulare, now has a Democrat majority in the city council. And for the first time, the city of Lemoore will have a super fiery progressive Bernie-crat on the city council. So we're making small gains here and there. You can expect plenty of work, but you can also appreciate a lot of camaraderie and teamwork because ever since I've been able to take care of the club and kind of help grow and foster relationships, we've been making steady gains even just in the past couple of months.
So if you were to join my club, what you can expect is an environment where you really gain a second family, in the sense that when you go to conventions, the statewide conventions, what you get is a network of friends and a network of homes you can stay wherever you are across the state. I mean, even if you're not political, maybe you don't, you're not too big on elections, maybe politics really isn't your thing, you definitely have people who have similar values as you, and that's really important when you get to know people. And so with that in mind, you definitely have a unique experience in going anywhere you find, even San Francisco, one of the most liberal places, a bastion of liberalism. You'll have that one friend on the, on the outskirts of town says, you have a place to stay, you can always stay with me. And so you really have that network, which is really unique. And also, you can look forward to having more fun in the sense that all of politics is at the front line. Getting Republicans elected is our first interest. Keeping people interested and invigorated and motivated to socialize with each other and get to know each other, because building that network, especially once you get off COS and you leave our campus, it is definitely not as a good political climate to be a conservative on any other campus. So COS really has that unique place where you can come together, get to know each other, and more importantly, learn who to look out for when you go to other campuses.
I'm kind of a nerd. I actually have a job as a political science tutor, so I love just having a huge source of information that I get from the internet, whether it's conservative news that's delivered from Breitbart or super left-leaning news such as the Young Turks. I like to enjoy all of it. Wall Street Journal, The Economist, AP. I don't like to limit myself to a single perspective of information. So I definitely believe that it is our responsibility to obtain as much information and knowledge as possible. The good thing about democracy is that you get what you put into it. Currently, I am a delegate for the Democratic Party, and I get to vote on who our party endorses. And not only do I get to do that, a lot of my members who ran to be elected with me actually won and get to vote on key endorsements. It's kind of the reason why we're able to drag candidates like John Chang, who's running for governor, to come to the Central Valley. Most of these candidates don't actually pay attention to us because they assume that it's won over by the Republicans. And we were able to do that because we had more information. And I think no matter who you talk to on the spectrum, they have core beliefs because they've obtained the information to develop that. And if you want democracy to work for you, if you want to make a change, the first duty of a revolutionary, I believe, is to become educated. So no matter what news source you're obtaining, I implore you, I encourage you to widen your source and to really dig into the details so you can become a much more educated person and make better decisions and potentially get involved in politics like my associate here, Christian, and I.
So I wholeheartedly agree with a lot of exactly what you said, but also I think it's important to be very conscious in what you're reading. For instance, if you go to Breitbart, definitely check your sources. Or for instance, even Young Turks, definitely check your sources. Because a lot of these places do have objectives. And one of the big things that people should be conscious of is intellectual consistency, which is that regardless of what you think, you can't go in with biases. And I don't read papers as a conservative. I read it as someone who purely wants the information at hand. And so I think when you have this whole partisan team play, my team versus theirs, you get into very dangerous territory. So I think that politics is not, this team sport where I win, you win. It's, well, we all want what's mutually beneficial for all of us. And so if you get that, you get this polarized binary system that we have now. So I think information is certainly reflecting that. So you have to definitely be conscious of the fact that people out there are genuinely going to try to mislead you, whether they try to or not. So being aware of that and trying to, at your best, be intellectually consistent with the information you put out and take in, I think that will in turn show how important it is that we be aware of the information we're getting, and that yes, information is very important, and being informed is one of the most important things you can be in today's political climate.
So I'm actually teaming up with my friend here, Christian. Sometime in April, I think the second or third week, we are going to be doing a debate, as exciting as that sounds. And it's going to be a 3v3 debate style with our senior members from both clubs. I've been able to develop a much better relationship with Christian specifically. I've been able to work with him in student government, where it's much less political in a sense. And I've been able to get to know his side of the aisle. And I think being able to understand him and understand what he supports, what he's advocating for, as well as being able to show him what I advocate for has been a really positive experience for both of us. So we decided that we should be able to get the entire COS student body involved in this as well. A number of clubs are joining us as well. I know B-Stars is going to be helping us out. The Society of Legal Studies is going to be moderating debate as well as helping us with questions. I know you guys are going to be there too in the journalism department to help us out with whatever we need. I'm hoping that a lot of COS teachers do provide extra credit to kind of incentivize you guys to get working, because I know we're students just like you, want to get those points. But definitely expect a good time. We're going to try to cover food there as well. We're going to be actually talking about economics, education, healthcare, and immigration. Yes. So it should be a good time. Like I said, if you're worried that we're going to start screaming and shouting at each other because we have our differences, that is not the case. As you can see, I'm with Christian here. I'm trying to encourage you guys to get involved. And I think at the end of the day, the true victors of this isn't going to be the Democrats. It isn't going to be the Republicans. The only real victors here are you, the students. No one's keeping score of whether or not the Democrats win. No one's keeping score if the Republicans win. We're not really doing that. We're trying to provide something for you guys. I know in this day and age you can find plenty of college campuses that refuse to allow speakers to come on school, to refuse to talk to the other side and try to get something accomplished. And if we continue down that path, we all are going to lose. Even though we represent different parties here, at the end of the day, we're still on the same team. The only difference is really how we get to success, because we both want it. We both want that for everyone in the United States. So the good thing about this debate as well is that any student will be able to ask either of us questions about our party, on where we individually stand, and we'll be able to inform you to the best of our abilities. I like to quote someone pretty famous who said that the only force strong enough to change the way things are is you, the American people, and the only people who are able to make a difference is us. So hopefully I can see you guys out there, and I'm looking forward to working with Christian and the college Republicans on educating COS students.
And also to add on to that is that public discourse is a failing institution in today's society, and free public discourse at that. And so what we're trying to do is preserve what's so great about this area, which is that at COS, which people come back always, they always say that it's so unique here, which is that we can freely express it. The college Republicans can table during Club Rush right next to Pride, right next to the Islamic Club, right next to the college Democrats. And we all get along just fine because we're all students and we're united by that common principle that we want to seek higher education. And so in that pursuit and in that light, that's what this whole thing is about. It's more of a forum in the first part, because my biggest critique of the debates is that it proves who is right, not what is right. And what we're trying to do is present ideas, and we want them to be clear and coherent, which is why we're inviting students to come in to more listen to a forum at first, because we want students to be able to know exactly where we stand. We're not rushed, and you can give the most clear, cut answer you can. And then the last half was where we'll have more engagement, where students will be invited to write on cards questions they have to be filtered by the moderators so that they can ask us directly. And on those questions, we will be pinging back and forth our ideas more off the cuff. And that'll be the more debate style. But for the most part, the whole goal is to offer our best shot at what we believe the party stands on, and what we individuals interpret that and interpret those stances. So also what we want to push forward is that what we do with me and Eric is really unique, in that me and him work together, we eat together. Outside of politics, we're really good friends, and that's what we want to keep going. And so our club meets every Tuesday, 12 to 1 in Kern 731, You'll see us out there. Just look for the big American flag and you'll find us.
And my club, the College of COS Young Democrats, also meets from Tuesdays on 12 to 1, and we meet in the Sycamore building, room 201.